Good evening, class. We are talking about Pentecostalism and how it came about. A Pentecostal movement has to be rooted in a commitment to evangelizing the world. How do we go about to evangelize the world? How do we go about reaching out to every person as Jesus commanded? By the reading of the Bible, there was a person in the 1900s, in the late 18s, that studied his scriptures with that heart to evangelize the world and comes to the conclusion, Mr. Parham, that if we're going to evangelize the world, it has to be in the apostolic lines, and that the apostolic lines, as the Bible tells us, as it was written, had signs and wonders, that people had received the Holy Spirit, they had been speaking languages that they didn't know before, and that when they go to the streets are able to share the good news of Jesus with other people in their own languages, even though they never learned those languages. When he studies the Bible, when he studies the scriptures, he comes to the conclusion that there is a Bible evidence of receiving that Holy Spirit. He goes then to a Bible school that he has created to his young students. And this important is young people studying the Bible and getting their conclusions on their own by themselves, as the Bible tells us, not to believe everything, but go into the scriptures and figure out by yourself. They learn by searching the scriptures that there is a Bible evidence of receiving the Holy Spirit in every case in the books of Acts. They are in Topeka, Kansas, and they give their teacher on December 31st, or the first of the year in 1901, the answer that he's looking for. The Bible evidence of receiving the Holy Spirit is that you are going to speak a new language that you didn't know before. As per se, the Holy Spirit comes in you and he speaks through you a language that is given. At that time, they believed it was a language that existed in the world, and that was the place that you should go and evangelize. Later on, they changed that mind into an understanding that they are prayer languages that not always take you to evangelize a place, but they take you into a relationship with God, into a conversation with God that will edify you, will change you from within. There was a young woman, Agnes Osman. She was the brave one to ask his class to lay hands on her as she read in the Bible, and that she trusted, she believed, she tried to receive the Holy Spirit in that way. Sure enough, her class prays for her, they lay hands on her, and she starts speaking in tongues. By these, other students start speaking in tongues. In the meantime, God has brought to Mr. Parham's life a woman of color called Lucy Farrow. Miss Farrow was a preacher in a church, but she also had several jobs that she had to keep up with life. When she comes into Parham's life, she starts working to serve him, and ends up being a nanny. When she agrees to get that job for Mr. Parham, she was gonna have to travel, so she gives her congregation to William Seymour, that was the son of some slaves. The reason I think this is important is that the Holy Spirit was working in very strange ways through already different kind of people, and not as people will plan. Mr. Parham is teaching his students, and Miss Lucy Farrow is listening and agreeing with everything he says. Traveling around, they end up going back to Mr. Seymour, where Mr. William Seymour was, and she contacts him and tells him the story that she's been hearing, that this is the way to receive the Holy Spirit, or there is a way to receive the Holy Spirit, and the evidence is that they were going to speak in tongues. Mr. Seymour believes that, and he starts searching for that Holy Spirit to come in him. I think it's amazing that he started preaching and believing everything before he receives the Holy Spirit. He didn't doubt it. Miss Lucy is able to talk to Mr. Parham, and William Seymour gets to study that class, not in the same room, but in the outside of the door, because there was segregation. There was that time where people of color and whites were not together. Even through all that, the Holy Spirit works for him to believe. Then he opens a door by someone that heard him preach and believe to come to California. He comes to California. He gets kicked out from the place that he was invited because of the things that he's trying to teach, how to receive the Holy Spirit. And against all rejection, he continues to talk and preach about it in a Bible study in a small home. That small home gets people to receive the Holy Spirit. It grows to a bigger crowd and a bigger crowd. At this point, he still doesn't have the Holy Spirit himself, but he won't stop preaching it. And it evolves into a bigger and bigger place until they get to Azusa Street Church, where hundreds and thousands of people start showing up over the period of 3 years to receive and to believe the good news about the Holy Spirit and the Pentecostal falling of the Spirit over people, to speak in other tongues and to go and evangelize the world. The way that it spread out is that God had brought at that time in California and Los Angeles people from all over the world already looking for a new way of living. There were Chinese people, Mexican people, Europeans. Everybody's looking for a new life, and that was the perfect place to start a Pentecostal movement, because all those were congregating together, color in every nation, in that church in Azusa Street, to hear this man talk and to receive the Holy Spirit. And they will be the ones to go into the rest of the world, to their own homes, their own countries, their own families, and spread out the good news and spread out the receiving of the Holy Spirit and evangelizing the world. Of course, this keeps running, keeps growing, and it never stops growing until today. It's been 100 years and more of this story, and we keep growing. So it started real small. The reason that I believe is real is because it has grown regardless of rejection, regardless of people trying to stop it. Why this history affected me? It affected me because I realized how the Holy Spirit started working through a black man. And that was not the way that was expected. It affected me because I realized that the Holy Spirit started working through a young woman. Nobody that was looking for fame or money, or just an innocent woman that wanted more. And from there, a nanny that knows this black man, and that she tells him, and every act of the Holy Spirit towards this story is odd. I think that is amazing. Do I believe that every Christian should live that way? I believe that anybody that believes that God has called them for a job. I believe that anybody that reads the scriptures and hears and sees that God says, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizes them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, should live this way, should be looking for the Holy Spirit to work through them. And I think that the fact that everybody should know about Pentecostalism is that a young woman from a youth group from a Bible study that is young and innocent and was looking for nothing but to prove, okay, this is real. So lay hands on me and let me try it. And I think that is amazing because I love young people, and I know that they're not looking for fake. They're looking for, okay, this is real. We want it, and they're all ready to receive it. And that's how we're being called to impart the Holy Spirit, to speak about the good news, and to teach and to train the next generation to go out, because those are the ones that don't resist it. They're the ones that are ready to receive it. So sorry this went forever and ever, but I get so excited and it's so real. Thank you so much, guys, and I love you. Have a good night.